Welcome to the Audience Converter Podcast, the podcast for converting your audience from strangers to loyal fans. We dive deep and discuss how entrepreneurs, consultants, and coaches can level up their business to help more people in the world. Now here's your host, the creator of the Audience Conversion Method, Kimberly Weitkamp.
Struggle to get your own marketing in place to draw in the right community for you and your business? Have a big goal or dream to change the world with your services, but can't seem to connect with the right people? Every month in Marketing and Growth Mastery, we have live trainings, hot seat coaching, and check-ins to keep you on track with creating the right marketing with the right message for your community. Take it for a test run of only $1 for 30 days with the code podcast. Join at theaudienceconverter.com/mastery. See you inside. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Audience Converter Podcast. I'm Kimberly Weitkamp, your host, conversion copywriter, and marketing strategist. And today I am by myself, and we're talking about something a lot of us have gotten very familiar with in these last few months, pivoting. You know, it's not a new term, but it's a term that a lot of people have started to use quite frequently here. Simply because a lot of us found ourselves needing to pivot when the pandemic hit. And one of the things that I've never really liked about this approach to so-called pivoting is this idea that you have to do a complete 180. So many people have had this approach, I feel, where suddenly a pivot usually means a slight change, right? It's supposed to be, I'm going to turn a little bit to the right. I'm going to turn a little bit to the left. I'm going to go a little bit higher. I'm going to go a little bit lower. When we're talking about pivots in like physics and stuff, or pivots in dance, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to mean that you do a complete change to your business, to your services, to your model, to all of that kind of stuff. Traditionally, at least in the world of marketing, you pivot, you change, you test for the small things, because you never know if you do something large, if you change everything, then there's no way for you to know exactly what part of the change really made the impact. So what you'll see is you might see somebody do like 15 different A/B tests, but each of those tests, they're only changing one thing. So, 10% of your audience might see one image versus another image. Another audience might see image B and image C. Another audience might have one headline versus another headline. Another audience might have a different button color versus another button color. Another audience might have different words on the button versus another audience. So each of those audiences, I just listed off like 10 different audiences, right? And each of them sees the entire marketing piece, whether that's a blog post, a podcast, a landing page, a sales page, an email, it doesn't really matter. They see the entire piece of marketing the exact same as the other 9 audiences, except for that one thing, that one image, that one headline, that one call to action. Now, usually what you'll do is, you only have like 2 or 3 tests running at a time. You see which ones really outperform the others, and then you do a little bit more testing. You're not necessarily going to have all of that testing going on across 10 different audiences, but you can, right? Because the idea is pivots, changes in marketing, figuring out, what your market is interested in learning about and hearing about. It's the small changes. It's the small side steps that really make a big difference. And the reason I'm talking about pivoting today, one reason, is because we here at the Audience Converter Podcast and all of the wonderful people who help me make this show, we're doing a slight pivot, but we are not doing a complete 180, right? I'm not doing this huge, huge change. What I'm doing is I'm narrowing in. I'm focusing in. I am honing in on exactly the type of information and conversations you out there want to hear. So after 50 episodes, I'm so excited. This is our 50th episode. That's a huge celebration for me. I'm so excited that we've hit that number 50, but it's also a really great time to make a transition, to make a really small pivot, to make a really small change that is going to make a big impact for everyone out there listening. So what you'll find in marketing and in business, and this is what I tell my clients, right, is you're not supposed to be in love with anything once it's brand new, because most likely all of those things are going to change. In the world of writing, especially in the world of copywriting, there's a phrase called killing your darlings. And what that is, you write this amazing thing, you love this one particular section, it's amazing, it's so great, but the testing shows or history shows or past trends shows that particular approach, that particular focus, that particular hook is not going to work. Or it just doesn't match the rest of the piece that you're writing. So you have to cut it out. And it's really hard, of course, for a lot of writers to want to cut that kind of stuff out, but it makes the entire marketing piece stronger. And that's what I mean when I say small pivots, right? Small changes, small pieces that you cut out. So I'm so excited to announce that the Audience Converter is going to be focusing in on the Audience Converter for community leaders. Basically, off of all of the wonderful people I've had on the podcast, those that have raised the most interest, those that I've been able to use as a resource, those that people have come up to me and said, that was just such an amazing episode, thank you so much for putting it out there, are really aimed at people who are wanting to build a community. Right? These are not the kinds of companies where it's a one-off, or you have a lot of customers, but you don't really know them, you don't really speak with them, you don't really have that personal connection with them. I am more focused on helping people build communities through their marketing and through their business. And, there's a lot of advantages to having communities, but the biggest one, for me at least, is that I love the idea of helping more people exponentially expand their impact. This means, one thing you do can have a bigger impact because it's being given to several people at once instead of one-to-one. Now, there's nothing wrong with one-to-one, and quite a lot of the people I work with, they have one-to-ones still, but they also have a community, either a free community, a paid community, it doesn't really matter. But the way they treat leads, the way they treat clients, the way they treat prospects is this idea that we're going to be working together for a very long time. I recently just joined a VA company, right? And, the message I got was, welcome to the family. Because this woman who runs this VA agency, she has like a 90% retention rate or something really high, because people love the way that they work together. They are not just another number. They kept it small to start because they wanted to be able to deliver that particular level of service and make sure they could scale it. And now they're about to grow. But it's a community, right? It's not just you're a number, you get an invoice, and then I'm done with you until I have to give you another invoice. It's a community. It's a way of doing things. It's a philosophy that they bring to their business, they bring to their interactions with their clients, and they bring to the people they work with as well. So, I have so many amazing, great interviews still to come that have already been recorded, because I've just had so many amazing people asked to be on the show, and all of them have something wonderful to share with you. So while we do have all of this really great audio already recorded, each of them, you'll notice, recently has started to get a short little introduction. And that's kind of how somebody who is a community leader can begin to incorporate all of this information they're learning in growing their community. And in future episodes, we will, of course, have more of a focus in the conversation itself on how what is going on can help build a community, convert your audience, right? It's the Audience Converter for Community Leaders podcast, and that has not changed. It's all about how do you convert your audience. But a part of that, there's so many different moving parts, right? The management, the marketing, the money, the mindset, all of that really plays a role in building our businesses so that we can build the ability to build a community that makes a difference. And another reason why I really love focusing on community leaders is that community is one of the best business models out there. From the start, you're anticipating bringing in a new client that is going to stick around. They're not just going to have that one-on-one conversation and be done. You are bringing them in for a long-term relationship. not only a long-term number of projects, but you're also going to have the short-term goals, but also developing those short-term goals to get the long-term goals. Because at the end of the day, right, we're all here so that we can make a business out of what we do. There's nothing wrong with charging for our services because they are helping people, they're providing value, they're providing a change and an impact in someone's lives. So with the power of community, when you teach one person how to do something, that makes an impact. But then when you teach 5 people how to do something, that makes an even bigger impact because they can go out and continue those lessons into the world, right? There's a really popular proverb, give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day, teach a man to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. And what I'm all about is giving people the tools to create their marketing and to build up the business that they want for a lifetime. It's not about that one-time interaction. It's about building a community around who you are, who you serve, and what you do, and how you can make a bigger impact in the world. So I am incredibly excited to introduce the new focus, the small pivot, if you will, for the Audience Converter podcast for community leaders. And I have amazing episodes ahead for you, including some more focused, short, sweet, wisdom-filled episodes where I walk you through a lot of different parts of the marketing atmosphere, if you will. I've just encountered so many people here recently who are like, yeah, me, this is what I do, blah, blah, blah. But, I don't know how to do it in the marketing thing. I don't know how to explain that in marketing speak. And really, it's not about not knowing how to explain something in marketing speak. It's that you're not clear enough on how you serve. You're not clear enough. You don't have enough clarity on the audience that you serve and what the audience is actually looking for. So what we're going to be going over in the next couple of episodes is really diving into how to get people from strangers to loyal fans, how to use the audience conversion method. How does that show up in your business? And especially, how do each of these things tie into building up the right community for you and for what you do? So I am really excited. Episode 50, the new focus for community leaders. We have a lot of really great episodes ahead. I would love to know out there. Send me a quick message, drop a review, contact at theaudienceconverter.com. How have you pivoted in the last 6 months? How have you done a small change, not a big one, but a small one that's made such a huge impact for you? A lot of people I speak with haven't realized or don't realize that I launched this podcast in December of last year, and a month later, I launched a new business. Now, that was not a pivot. That was a complete transition and a complete 180. But even in the last 7 months, I have done little changes, those little pivots that have made a big difference, made a huge impact, 0 to 1,000 subscribers, 0 to, thousands of dollars in client work. It's just been a really interesting ride. And I think a lot of us have had some very interesting transition points going on right now with the pandemic and with a lot of other things happening in the world. And, you're not alone. Most of us have had to change. Most of us have had to pivot. And I have a huge project coming up that I'm really, really excited about. I'm not making the announcement quite yet, but stay tuned because I have a great project in mind that is going to help so many people who struggled with making those small pivots or with even making the big transitions. And we've got a way for you to reset your goals and reset everything so that can make a bigger impact for you in the coming months. So all of us have had an interesting few roller coaster months, and the Audience Converter podcast is no stranger to that. So we are going to be having a lot more episodes here in the future focused on helping people make a bigger impact for their community, helping people helping you get resources and information about how different marketing pieces can tie into your community making and so much more. So thank you for listening. Remember to keep calm and carry on and enjoy the pivot. Until next time.
Thanks for listening to the Audience Converter podcast. For more information and important links about today's show or for access to our website, visit theaudienceconverter.com. Take a moment to rate and review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts.